Alright, so in this video, the intention is to go over how I do paving. Now, I've seen a lot of people complain about the paving generator in the past, and I'm not going to pretend I know what these settings on the bottom right do, because I don't. I have absolutely no idea. I know that some people tweak them and make better layouts, and that's fantastic. You go ahead and do that. I leave them as default, and it's always worked fine for me. People say that building your own paving geo has benefits over it, and that may be possible. I don't know. I've never gone out of my way to make paving geometry. I never found that it was necessary. I found that all of the issues that occurred with the generated paving can be fixed in one way or another. So I'm just going to quickly show you one, how to set it up, and one, how to fix issues. Well, two, how to fix issues, as I said. So first up, open the paving generator, which I've already done. You can see that I've currently got no layers or anything, and when you do that, it will automatically generate a paving layer. Now you can see here that there's all manner of potential issues with this paving. For instance, there's paving in the ceiling, there's paving in the floor, behind walls, there's paving on top of props that there shouldn't be. There are multiple ways of solving this, but to start with, I'll just show you these. Now this would normally be in the Commander Invisible layer. So let's just add a layer called Commander Invisible. Sorry, it will be in a group called Commander Invisible, but we're just going to do it in a layer for now. And I'm going to make this purple just so that you can see it stand out. If we add that to that group, this is just one way of fixing it. When you open the paving generator, you've got all these things here. The checkboxes allow you to exclude things that are inside of these layers from being paved. Now if we generate paving, you'll see that it doesn't happen. Now that isn't the only way to fix this issue. If I swap it so that it's now being generated again, one of the easiest ways would be to look at the prop and see paving include. It's set to true, set it to false, and when you do the paving generator, it won't generate the paving on that prop. It seems relatively easy to me and self-explanatory, but not everyone knows how to do this, so I'm going to go through it all as easily as I can. So, when you have props like this, it has the paving include and paving walkable. Now, if you choose not to include an item in paving, like a box, this paving here will generate and it will allow things to go through it, like so. That's a problem because it means that people can place cysts inside of this and the cyst cannot be killed. So I would highly advise not doing that. However, if you say walkable is true, for instance with this, put a prop up here, when you generate, it will allow the paving. I believe if I set this walking to false, when we use the generator, it disappears. Now this is useful for things like railings and such that you will have on catwalks or on geometry, and you don't want the paving to go up that railing and down the other side. You'll have like a raised area. I'll just quickly build a raised area to show what I mean. I'm not going to do this in any way, shape or form in a clean way, because it's not supposed to be clean, it's just supposed to be functional to demonstrate. So if I put a railing on there, you'll do. That's fine. And then generate paving. Look at the mess that occurs. That is because the paving on these railings is allowing it to be walked. If you turn walking off, so paving and walkable is now off, the paving, because it's included, is making sure that it's accounting for the railings. But because it's no longer walkable, it shouldn't generate paving on it. So you'll have this circle around it, which prevents the walking. So if you were to have staircases here and here, the paving would line up properly and it wouldn't look messy. And that's just through the standard generator. So as long as you're making things that you don't want pathing to go over non-walkable, and making sure that anything you want pathing to avoid entirely is set to include, or disclude should I say, so that the include is set to false, you'll have that with, you'll be able to figure out which one's which and how it works more easily by experimentation and see what happens after you make these changes. But that's just props. When it comes to geometry, obviously, if you've got pathing in things like this, which you can see that there is pathing here, this piece of geometry is generating pathing. It shouldn't be, and now because it's outside of the play space, you could just delete it, and now it's not a problem. But with these things in here, it's not always possible to get rid of geometry entirely. If you're creating a rock map or something, you'll have geo that is underneath props, and it will start generating pathing underneath your rocks or underneath things, and setting the pathing settings of the rock doesn't necessarily work as well as it does with more appropriate props. Like appropriate is probably the wrong word, ironically appropriate is inappropriate. But with railings and stairs and crates, it's a very clean coat, very easy to use system. With rocks, it's not so easy. Sometimes you'll get pathing coming through it for no apparent reason. So in situations like that, you can do one thing that is really, really simple, and that's just draw a box and then set that to Commander Invis or no pathing, just any layer, and then disclude it from the layer. So exclude layers, and when you generate pathing, that pathing's not a problem anymore. And experiment with this. It's really, really easy to set up a room so that your pathing is functional without the necessity of having to build it from scratch yourself. And if you do this from the start, from the first day that you start building your map, if you start building with the intention of using the pathing generator is a fantastic tool, and I believe it saves a lot of time in the long run than building your own. If you know how to set it up properly, if you know how to disclude layers or set up your pathing walkable properly, then you'll never need to build pathing geo on any map ever again. As always, if you want more tutorials and things like this or explanations, feel free to ask, subscribe, like, and all the YouTube crap. And yeah, if you want anything more specific spoken about, just contact me on Discord, and I'm happy to oblige. Thanks for watching.